Ia Palingana. As a Palawa Trawulawe woman from Lutruwita, Tasmania, I pay respect to the traditional and original owners of this land, the Mulwinana people, to those old people who have passed, and to today's Tasmanian Aboriginal community, the Palawa Pakana people. We are now the traditional custodians of this land. On behalf of my community, I extend to you our warmest welcome and acknowledge each and every one of you on this significant day. To today's graduands, today is a time for you to reflect on your achievements and to celebrate all your hard work. I commend you on this important occasion and acknowledge it as your gateway to the future. You are part of the UTAS alumni community, a global community that allows us to collaborate and be the best we can be, flourishing individually and collectively. It is a future vastly different from when I graduated not that long ago, in 2006. Indeed, when I graduated, I could never have predicted where I am today. In 2006, I was a painfully shy student with the nickname Brown Girl for obvious reasons. I was a student who studied very hard as academia didn't come naturally to me. And I was, as always, staunchly involved in my Aboriginal community. I was the first in my family to seek a profession, but I followed a small but significant cohort of my mob who had studied law at UTAS and who remain my role models: Michael Mansell, Heather Scolthorpe and Rosie Smith. In my early years as a solicitor, I felt as though to be successful I had to fit to a particular mould. In my mind, I had to look like other lawyers and I had to act like other lawyers. It wasn't long before I realised that I couldn't practice law that way and that the way that many other lawyers did. I needed to practice law in a way that aligned with my cultural upbringing, acknowledging and respecting the traditional laws and customs of those I was advising or those who I was on the other side of, and allowing them to self-determine. I also recognised that I could achieve greater impact in changing the culture of the legal profession by bringing together First Nations lawyers in a firm that showcased the importance of diversity in the legal profession in all areas of practice, and that competed on a national level with the top-tier firms. It was for this reason, in 2013, I established Marawa Law. It was a tough call as a young Aboriginal female in a practice area that was dominated by non-Indigenous senior male practitioners. This was coupled with a lack of experience in business and a hatred of trust accounting. But in my mind, it was the only choice I could make. But for many years, I felt like an imposter. It was like I was playing shops when I was a kid. In reality, though, it was my own fears holding me back from acknowledging the groundbreaking work my team and I were doing across the country and the changes we were making to the profession and the lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. It wasn't until about 2020 that I came to realise that my diversity, my different lived experience, my different lens was actually my superpower. I could clearly demonstrate to corporates and government that different perspectives and viewpoints led to more innovative thinking and more well-reasoned arguments. To these groups, it made good business sense to employ a firm of solicitors who looked beyond the black and white on a piece of paper, who understood a broader picture of what was happening on the ground and the importance of relationships. In the last 2 years, this country as a whole has experienced an accelerated awakening to the strength of diversity. The Black Lives Matter and Me Too movements, as well as the destruction of the culturally significant site, Dukin Gorge, has opened our collective eyes. The world is now beginning to acknowledge diversity and the strength, resilience, and creativity it brings. Each and every one of us in this room has a strength through our different lived experience, look and sound that we can embrace. My message to all graduates today is don't be afraid to step out into the future as your true self. And indeed, if you need to, be a trailblazer. Thank you, and Woolika.